For those of you in the U.S., don't forget Sunday, May 12th, Mother's Day. Take a little moment, thank the woman that brought you into this world and can take you out. Anyway, also...
Hey there, everybody at the Schwantz 27's channel. It's DJ Vaughn on the Wicked Ones and Twos here to talk to you about our newest Operation Spectre Rising, available now on the PS4 first, since Sony and Activision are spelt with $signs. We took a less obvious on your wallet approach to naming this new season of content, but we weren't clever enough to land on an actual theme, so we just named it after the new specialist. And by new, I mean a specialist that was the most annoying to face in our prior game, Black Ops 3, that sounds like the nasally cunts you'd expect would still be playing Black Ops 4. Because we were too cheap to hire voice actors, so we just had somebody put a clothespin over his nose to say voice lines. His specialist weapon is a shadow blade, so you could roll and slash like a Dark Souls game without having to deal with the difficulty of AI bosses, and 1000% more rage-inducing for people that are actually trying to shoot an FPS game. When equipped, you enter a third-person perspective with the ability to basically teleport everywhere, since we can't control how laggy our servers are, so we might as well make it a feature. We clearly didn't learn anything from the Infinity Blade in Fortnite, even though this entire game is basically chasing trends. The FOV is also increased, which will make performance even worse on the obsolete hardware when released consoles. The special issue equipment is a smoke grenade that Spectre can see through, since we did all of that work in Black Ops 2 for the MMS site, yet nobody used it due to how ugly the reticle was that we put on the scope. He's unlocked at tier number 1 of our new only 50 tier contraband stream. That's 50% less than last time and 200% less than the first time around, because we didn't have enough time to make content for 100 items, with further watering down the loot pool by adding new things like weapon charms and death effects, which are per weapon, by the way, for maximum dilution. But at level 25 is the new Nifo Odi melee weapon that we're happy to exploit the culture of for monetary gain, but can't pronounce the name of.
And then the melee weapon, which I believe, I'm gonna mess this up.
Do it.
Nifo Oti, I believe?
Close
I don't
enough.
know. Close? Okay.
Finally, at level 50 is a new LMG called the Tiger Shark, which is basically the MK48 weapon asset from Black Ops 2, since nostalgia's a hell of a drug, with a magazine that's a side loader like half of the SMGs from Call of Duty World War II. The other items in the stream are outfits to play dress up with in an FPS that look like PIs and detectives from the 1950s, because the people that just had an investigation running for 2 years couldn't indict a clear criminal. And I'm not sure it fits with our theme of Spectre Rising, because they're not actually assassins. But we had so much fun with the Wild West theme of Ghost Town from last Operation, we just decided to carry them over and fit them all together by putting silencers on their guns in the trailer. There's also 3 brand new maps for people that somehow don't have a giant yellow warning sign of shame next to their name and actually purchased an anachronistic in 2019 Black Ops pass that we're later going to show off in this video by having the worst gamer at the studio play during the live stream. Oh, and of course, by 3 new maps, I mean only 2, since we're bringing back a fan favorite from the original Black Ops, WMD, and unlike other Redux maps in the past that have been locked behind a paywall in other Call of Duty games, we didn't even bother reskinning this one, because that's the amount of minimal effort for maximum profit that you expect from us here at Treyarch. We're also recycling the ballistic knife along with WMD and Spectre, because Treyarch is the greenest company around. However, it's not available yet, since it'll probably be in the next $30 weapon bundle controversy, as if snipers already don't run rampant, because single shot weapons are more powerful in a game with more health and bad hit registration.
You're much more energetic than Miles Leslie.
Ah, that guy. I'm having fun already. We haven't even started yet.
So about those new maps. First is Artifact, riding the coattails of Fortnite's digging sites and geysers in Season 8. It's just a bunch of rock assets thrown together at different heights, which should be just like playing a jetpack game all over again, having to look up and down as well as left and right. It's got the flow of someone with prostate cancer. Then is Masquerade, an appropriate name for something that is a killing zone yet looks colorful like a playground because COD stands for Children's Online Daycare. I mean, who likes parades anyways? It's just people walking down the street. Are they really that exciting? It's set in Bangladesh, India, according to our live stream, even though that's actually two different countries. And we also carried over the multi-tiered level design philosophy because it's a Treyarch map that always has something overlooking an objective for campers to shoot the people actually playing the game the correct way.
Look at this mess.
In Blackout, there's a new map update called Wetworks that continues the teaser storyline of having Spectre blow up the hydro dam, which is what the community wanted anyways when they realized it wasn't actually the Black Ops 2 map with the same name, but we wanted to reuse the flooding event asset. Instead of just a new location on the map, most of it is now flooded and split in half because water vehicles were underused and everybody just loves slogging through water slowing down an already snail's pace battle royale mode, right? I bet you can't wait to get sound hoard from all the splashing around that you're going to be doing. We decided to call it Wetworks, but missed an opportunity to actually have Wetwork from Call of Duty 4 as one of the ships that were tipped over during the deluge, and your normal looting spots might not have any beepity bops around since objects hidden underwater was just being plain mean, so we decided not to do that to you guys. Something to look for when you drop is the newly added dart, because having a fly-by-wire insta-kill item is totally not going to make people angrily tweet at me. There's also new Blackout characters, including Misty, but of course she's behind a paywall via the black market, and so is Uncle Frank, Black Ops 2's version of Woods with the Black Ops Pass, because we ran out of challenge ideas, as evident by the awful paint can design decision for camos. Lastly, there's a new mode called Bounty Hunter, where you can follow the purple light to become Spectre with the Shadow Blade, who can see the top 3 kill leaders in the lobby, because it's always good to decentivize getting kills by having a target on your back when you do the most killing. The weapon behaves similarly to multiplayer, since we didn't remove third-person cheesing with emotes because we needed to sell people tiers in the contraband stream, along with giving Spectre increased mobility to further give you even more motion sickness than going from first to third person every time you pull out and put away the sword.
Yeah, I can feel all the adrenaline just surging into me right now.
That's weird. That's what it feels like when I soil myself. That's just it could be one or the other. A little column A, a little column B. You know.
I mean, Mark's been working on zombies, pretty much since the beginning. The beginning. So he's used to living with oppressive, scary atmospheres, so he should be right at home.
For zombies, there's a new Dead of the Night gauntlet called Super Blood Wolf Moon after the event that occurred earlier this January, because it just sounds badass to cover up the fact that there's no new zombies experience in this operation. To also let our fans of running around in circles at just out of arm's reach down, there's nothing about factions, because even though this game has been out for 6 months, clearly our zombies team overpromised and underdelivered, which is par for the course in this live service buzzword era we develop games in nowadays. Lastly, for PS4, the Tiger Shark LMG will be in the mystery box. Speaking of which, let's talk about fixes for all platforms, and by all, I mean not the PC version, because the patch is always late in spite of less certification barrier to entry. Zombies camo requirements for those mystery box items have been halved because we're trying to make people actually play our game instead of getting annoyed at grinding for the ones that they already unlocked in multiplayer, and a new feature of classic elixir restock at the start of a match for any empty slots. With regards to multiplayer, I took a look at my big, black box of data, and we buffed the ranges on all of the SMGs except for the SOG, with Stock 2 getting a nerf, because assault rifles are the only weapons used in most game modes except for bare bones, where it's just overrun by snipers at this point. We also increased the cooldown time nerf to Nomad Set and Forget Mesh Mine, Ajax's PTSD inducing 9-bang, and the map flow fucking torque razor wire. We also buffed the UAV and counter UAV to now last longer than I do when I jerk off, bringing it to 30 seconds, along with buffs to the drone squad damage and duration, and the Mantis armor resistance, because we promised our score streaks would be devastating and have yet to hold that one up. Also, in order to make the time to kill even longer, bullets that travel underwater now inflict reduced damage, which we had to do specifically for our Wetworks Battle Royale mode, but it also affects multiplayer when players are swimming and shooting at enemies. As if people don't already get bored by the time a gunfight is over.
For having done the Lord's work to get that roadmap done, took years off his life. About 2 weeks ago, Jared looked like he was like 22. Now it's like, you know, a hard early 70s. Poor guy. But the roadmap is done. That's the kind of sacrifice we're willing to make for you. Also,
since every other gaming company is doing it to convince people to continue playing their game after shipping an empty vessel that's filled with broken promises like we did with Prop Hunt, which is actually coming on Friday now.
Prop Hunt, if you don't know what it is, and you've been living under or as a rock, I don't know.
I see what you
This is, we have to deal with this all day. It's the puns on top of puns.
There you can see a...
Live out all of your fantasies as random things.
That's actually Miles,
Yeah.
the trash can.
I actually have a costume at home where I just try to become the trash can. So
Personally, what are you most excited about in terms of Operation Spectre Rising? What are you looking forward to most?
Being a palm tree.
Boyhood dream. Yeah. No, I get that.
Here's a roadmap of what's ahead with this Operation Spectre Rising. In multiplayer, CTF is returning because the pros aren't too fond of control and need another game mode that doesn't suck, a new lighting scene of Hacienda Twilight, and a new bare bones mode, since it's ironic that the thing most people are playing is the mode that takes out all of our bad design decisions. Ground War isn't in multiplayer because Chaotic is somehow 6v6 in our game now, but it will be a 50 versus 50 Blackout mode instead without friendly fire because most shitters can't control their own aim and are too used to playing Battle Royale games that coddle you like Apex and Fortnite without friendly fire, as well as an attack helicopter coming to Battle Royale, which is what Matty Schrantz should have identified as instead of a palm tree and trash can, even though the latter is the most appropriate of the three. In Zombies, there will be more gauntlets and even a gauntlets leaderboard because the app people couldn't figure out how to get those stats on it instead of the better in-game alternative. At the end of the trailer, we also hinted that we're bringing back challenges to earn items instead of using Call of Duty points, with Spectre saying contract complete because we wanted to milk the shit out of the game before giving something almost consumer-friendly to you. Hopefully this roadmap is vague enough for everyone to get somewhat hyped about, but please, don't hold my feet to the fire about this, even though it's borderline false advertising, like that sniper rifle that still hasn't shown up anywhere except in the promo from the last operation, and when I said in interviews that Blackout characters wouldn't be put behind timer paywalls. Oopsie.
Kind of in the middle of the operation. It's the plan anyway. Don't quote me. You guys always beat me up when we're
That
not exactly
midway has already, like, somebody's assigned a date to it.
I know.
Like,
fudge.
all right.